trend. Screen glow bright, midnight dance. One more move, one more chance. Stop, lost tight, but my hope runs wide. Do I bail right now or let this ride? Every signal talks like it knows me. Every move could crown me or ghost me. I'm tracing the arc in my mind, chasing the shape I can't find. Hey, turn or trend, they both been riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both been. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, spin that doubt round and round. Hear that hush in the crowd. Is it just a twist or the start of a run? I'm lost in the gust, but it feels like fun. Oh yeah. Turn or trend, they both been riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both been. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend. Oh. Shots on the wall, coffee gone cold, finger on the trigger, heart runs bold. Tick tock tick, red turns green. Is this that flip or the start of a scene? Every candle feels like a question. Every heartbeat bets on direction. I'm caught in the curve of the line, right on the edge of the sign. Oh, turn or trend, they both been riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both been. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, screen glow bright, midnight dance. One more move, one more chance. Stop, lost tight, but my hope runs wide. Do I bail right now or let this ride?
Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to Asia, man. It's been a long time. It feels like it's been a long time. It's just been last week that we've been trading gold. A lot has happened since then. We all know that all the futures prop firms have pretty much banned gold trading. So we're left with CFDs, which means that our friends at Think is one of the few places in the world we can trade gold nice and cleanly off the TradingView charts, which is what I'm doing right now. We have the first scalp of the session going right now. I'm going to explain what I'm doing in terms of creating what I think is relatively decent high frequency structures that I've actually borrowed from trading Nasdaq today, and we'll see if it translates well into gold. But it's all based upon all of our dot structures, all of our momentum ideas. I'm just trying to create more opportunities for you guys as the session opens up. So how's everybody doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Give me a hi. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how your trading has been going. How's everybody's trading been in the North American session? It's actually went pretty well for me all across the board. I finished up green across, and I'm actually opened up a little bit of NASDAQ trades positive on the future side. But now let's turn our attention. We got an hour and a half of what we call the golden hour, the 7 to 8:30. Asia opens up, Shanghai opens up, Tokyo opens up. Everybody loves gold, and we try to trade it hopefully to the upside. It opened up really, really hard down, right? I mean, just hard down, 70 points down, tested the 5,000, and they've just been consolidating and trading back up the whole time. And I've just joined the price action right here. I'm going to explain to you exactly what I'm doing here, because it's just a extension of the general ideas that we like to trade, where momentum presents itself, hopefully with the highest probability of trade. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There are a few feud brokers that still allow gold, which is great. Tell me why, Martin, why is it hard work on Tradeify? Is it the Tradeify rules, or is it hard work because gold is just a pain in the ass to trade because it's so volatile? Gold is banned because it was so volatile it was doing 1% a minute, literally 1% a minute. I believe it was Thursday night. It all got banned on Friday because Thursday night they were doing 1% per minute. I don't know if you can imagine what that means. A 1% per minute candle is a $40 candle per minute, not per an hour, not per day, but per minute. And what that means is that accounts just got blown up or made $500,000 in 1 minute flat. And that kind of risk, which they got to, which the prop firms got to hold against that risk, is just too much for them. So I don't blame them for kind of stopping it. I wish they would still let you trade the micros, which has a little bit less volatility. But they'll come back. I think once the price action comes down, they'll bring it back because just generally competition is going to force them to do it. The CFDs, on the other hand, because CFDs can be traded in any size, in the most microscopic size, I think they were able to just basically control their back end risk better, because none of the CFD firms have banned trading gold. We'll see how it goes. It's an ongoing story. Definitely very, very interesting from all perspectives. But from our aspect, this is the reason why we like to trade with lots of different partners. Think Capital is part of the Think Markets family of companies. Think Markets is a huge, huge broker out of Australia. So very well backed, really good risk control measures there, and very, very easy to trade. I love trading this because it's just a pure trading view trade, right? It's a pure trading view UI, super easy. Everything is just, one pip by one pip. There isn't, it's just very normalized to a user-friendly move. I'm actually getting killed on this trade. The trade just didn't extend. So I think I'm just going to close it out. I'm going to explain to you what I was doing. The trade literally worked like for 30 points, and I could have taken that profit over there, and I just bailed out. But here's the basic idea of what I want to show you that I kind of think is interesting to trade. You know how I love to trade dots at session highs, dots at session lows, right? So those are money trades. If we have a green dot at session highs, there's going to be continuity. If there's a red dot at session lows, there's continuity. Well, I've sort of extended that idea to just the 10-point range, right? So long as the range is relatively wide, which in this case 13 points wide, I think I'm going to sell. I'm just going to show you again. I'm going to try to sell this. I try to sell it against the range high if I'm on the short side, obviously range low if I'm on the long side, with adjustable stops and targets here. Hopefully this is going to work. But there is this one critical component that you need to do when you're doing this. First of all, obviously you want to do it at relatively small size. This is relatively small size for this type of account. And my only coral is just because I don't know how to, well, I guess I do. I just don't like doing it. Let me go to trade. I could lay out a limit order here, right? In ticks at like basically like 50 ticks above. Let me see if this is going to work. No, I don't want to take profit. I guess this is the problem. I have to lay it out as price, right? And this one I'm trying to put. Basically, you want to do it at 39.83. I guess. Let me try and do this. 39. Let me see if I can do this, because with futures I can just lay it out on the ladder. Anyways, I don't think I need to lay it out because this trade is going to work. You see how this is going to hopefully hit my 35 point target right here, because I hit session lows. Come on, baby. I just have to make spread, which is always a challenge. Let's see if we can make spread here. Damn it. All right, I can't make spread. But the point is that I want to reserve myself for what I call a blended trade. Basically, the way all these trades work, in a perfect world, you hit your first entry, first target, you're out. But you definitely need to massage the trade if it goes against you, because very often what happens, the trade will retrace half range somewhere in the middle. You get a blended price, you take it all back at the original entry, and the whole trade works really, really nicely. Let me see. I'm just going to lay this out here like this. Put this at like a 50. Let's see if I can I'm just trying to see if I could lay out a order rejected, rate is not valid for conditional order. Okay. Oh, because the price is wrong. Okay. The prices should be like, let's say 40. Oh, I need to be a seller. That's why I was on the buy side. Okay, so this is a sell limit. Okay, so here's a sell limit. Okay, this actually is working like properly. So I have a sell limit over here against, in other words, if the price comes back up against me, I'm going to put a second order over here as a kind of a blended price, and then try to take everything back at a shorter target. I wish I just barely missed spread here. It was just, we were like plus 25 to the trade, and I just missed the spread. So now we're sort of in no man's land trying to trade this. With CFDs, you obviously have to account for spread, which is a barrier in itself. That there's always trade-offs, right? With futures, we get rejection. With CFDs, you have to beat the spread. You have to adjust to the game you're playing. So the game we're playing, I had to be very patient and see if I could make, because in order for me to make 35, it actually has to be about 40, right? It has to be 40 ticks in my favor, because I got to make the spread. All right, we're back to plus 17 on this trade. Let's see if they hit it. If they hit the lows now, look at that. Just gold just keeps chopping around. But the idea is that if you're hitting range lows, you have some continuity. You're hitting range highs, you have some continuity. And if you don't get that continuity, if you get a retrace, you can add the secondary position mid-range and work the trade out that way. The very worst case scenario is you get a V-shaped move, and then this is your worst case scenario is that you have a pure V-shaped move, which is rare. Most of the time, you have this range, you break the range. Sometimes the range will retrace and come back to test the low of the range. Sometimes it'll break even further, but generally you're trading either continuity or chop, and you try to resolve both continuity or chop. You will get killed if it's a V-shape. But that's a rare position, and you have to accept that as part of the setup, because you're gonna the thing that's cool about the setup is that it creates lots and lots of opportunities. So if 1 out of 4 or 5 trades is a V shape, so be it. Which is really, that's kind of how it shapes out. It's either going to continue chop and resolve, continue, or V shape 1 out of 5 times, maybe even 1 out of 6 times. So overall, you're going to be net positive on the flow. even in this particular condition, I would have been net positive had I just come in a little bit earlier in the trade. I thought about this, that the trade was your buyer here, your net buyer here, you resolve the whole trade and chop over here. That's it. That's really the game plan of how the game plays out, right? So this creates very, very clean little scalping opportunities while the price action moves around. If you really really want to pay attention to the broader trend, then maybe you just try to sell the bottoms of the ranges. Right now we're still in a downtrend, right? The major trend is still a downtrend, although it's been trading up all the way since 1830. So in many ways, I think this is actually an uptrend rather than a downtrend. And one way, by the way, here's a really cool thing of how this is a really, really cool way to see if trend is continuing or if trend has reversed. You guys want to know how you can see this? Very, very easily on the charts. I just kind of realized this earlier today. So let's imagine I'm going to call this a trend because every retrace level makes a fresh high. You see how this level, oops, over here, right? This is a level, right? This was a level and it broke to fresh high. So now this is a fresh high, right? Then this is a level and we broke to fresh high, right? Fresh high. So if you think about this, this is a trend. Now, when does the trend start to bend? And this is where it gets interesting. So the trend starts to bend, and we'll see if this happens. So we have a retrace level, right? We have a fresh high, we have like a corrective level, and if the price starts to rally, but never ever makes a fresh high, it just sort of dies on the low end, then the trend has been stopped. Essentially, the trend is now in a bend, and now you can basically have your dominant view is that the trend is to the downside. So as long as we're making fresh highs post retraces, that's a continuous trend. If we're making fresh lows post retraces, that's a continuous trend to the downside. It's a really, really great way to handicap the trend on a very, very near-term basis and try to position yourself into the best position possible. This thing is just it's giving me plus 15, plus 18, just not giving me the full 30 points that I need as we're chopping around. So a little bit frustrating. This is second pass that I was positive, it just didn't hit my target. Whatever. It's it's fine. I'm trying to lay down the trade structures for you so you guys can kind of understand how the flow goes. Right now, gold sort of after a very, very tumultuous open is basically now in these consolidation zones. So how we know that gold is in an uptrend is if we break above this high. If we break above this high somewhere down the road, that's a continuation of an uptrend. As long as this high stays operational, that has not been broken, right? We can kind of assume that the trend has stalled and the dominant trend is to the downside. It really creates really creates a very, very easy visual, but also very quantitative understanding, because you have a quantitative level against which you can completely and objectively trade against as the prices are playing themselves out. So I thought that's kind of a cool thing to notice as we're trading our dots. Oh my God, this is just going to unbelievable. It's just going to tease me. This is the third or the fourth pass that this thing is doing. I'm just trying to buy it at 33, but it's it's clearly stuck at this 35 level. I don't like it. I'll be honest with you. The very fact that it has not broken to the lows, I think it makes me want to just come out of this trade. I'm just going to get out of this trade, get out of my sell limit. And very, very, by the way, the range now has just gone to a 5-point range. This makes me not want to do anything right now. It could break to the lows, which is great. I just took a small profit. I was thinking, of course, inevitably it's going to break down below my level, but it doesn't matter because this has been like already 8-9 candles where they haven't been able to break the lows. So I don't, I was on the short side. I want these trades to be resolved within 1 to 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, you're just looking to flatten out, to level up, because there's no reason to do anything. The other thing that's kind of frustrating is that we just died. I mean, a 5-point range, you're not going to trade the highs or the lows of a 5-point range. You need a 15-point range to really make it any kind of a meaningful signal one way or the other, right? So now we just sit here, twiddle our thumbs. We got nothing else to do on the gold side. But it does give you a good, quantitative orientation of where you are in the field of play, in terms of structures, right? So that's gold. We can take a look at NAS and see NAS is interesting because NAS has been dripping lower, and NAS is a good example of what I'm talking about in terms of hitting session lows, right? The only thing is here, this is a secondary hit, right? This is interesting. So it's a secondary hit, no dot, right? No dot. So when there's no dot, I'm actually very, very inclined to bet that this is a double bottom if there's no dot. If there is a dot, I'm actually going to hold off because I want to see it broke. I want to see the lows broken before I trade anymore. But this looks to me like we had a big sell-off, kind of trying to find the bottom here, and we'll try. If this stays like this, we'll take a punt on this. Except I think this is like a super. It's 200, right? What did I just do? Oh my goodness. Where's my thing? Yeah, this is 200. 200 net. NASDAQ is really enormous because I was using gold ticks. But this is like literally 1 point to 1 point. So let's just adjust our stops and targets. I'm going to go to actually just 5 ticks against this lows, because we're not, this is not really a big jump, and we'll stay just underneath the session low, give ourselves a little bit of breathing room here on the trade. See if NAS can pop itself up. Whether this double bottom holds or not, it's worth a shot just to play it, just to play the trade. And there we go. Double bottom worked, and it totally popped. So if you guys took that trade, that was a nice clean 5-point trade right off the bottom. Exactly watching the whole thing. But in this case, what I love is that this obviously session lows, range lows. You can see does it test, does it not test? Very, very clean. And of course now it can start running the other way. Let's go back to gold, because gold is actually now is challenging all of these levels here. So that's really interesting. So what I want to do now is the 46 is session high. 46 is this trend high. This is like right here, right? We can put this over here as a level. Let me just actually change that to white, just so that we can have it. And to me, if we can hold the break above and hold that level, then we definitely want to trade continuity to the upside. But you see how good it was. You see how smart it was for me to get out of that short trade. This was an 8-9 minute probe to the short side. Test 1, test 2, test 3. 3 strikes, you're out. It just makes much easier. It's just much easier to just get the fuck out at that, at this situation when it wasn't working for each. I should have actually gotten out on the second fail. But the point is that if it's failing, you probably just want to get out. even if it goes your way later, it doesn't matter. It needs to go your way right away. That's the whole idea of a scalp, right? Now we're gonna, now if they want to test it again, they want to bring the 34s down, they want to bring the hammer on the 34s. I'm happy to play the game again, but prove to me that you want to be running this to the downside. Again, this is essentially this particular trend slice high. We're in consolidation mode. If this kind of dies, we haven't been able to make fresh highs and we start challenging the lows. Yes, I want to trade this again to the downside because the dots, the price action, all of that creates possibilities for us. You would use the breakout? What do you mean by using the breakout, buddy? What do you mean by using the breakout? There's no breakout right now. I mean, we're just watching the flow here a little bit, right? So the short story is that they took the gold, they dumped the gold on the open, they bought it back sort of midway, right? Pretty much midway from the 570 to the 500, 535, and now we're just kind of consolidating, trying to see if this is all the sellers have, and if they do, the buyers are going to just rip this up. And once they bring it up above the 45s, yeah, we want to join the buyers. If on the other hand, sellers still have more gas and they want to take it back down to 5,000, we'll wait. We'll wait for the break of the session. This is the point of control that we want to participate on. No dots, no trade, right? Exactly. Buddy, you probably just joined us. I trade our own proprietary dot system, mainly in NASDAQ and in gold. Look at that. Now we start to see but range lows, dot holding 11, 12 seconds. Let's say, if the dot holds, it's going to be a legitimate sell for us, right? Just a legit sell on the gold side for us. It's got to hold, though. Didn't really close on the lows. All right, fine. I passed up. Gold doing its best to fake everybody out. Of course, in a perfect world, what we really want is range low, red dot, red slope. Slope was green, so it didn't give us quite the setup that we wanted on this play. We'll stay patient. Let's see. Let's see if they want to press it. If they drill this lower, like this next candle, breaking the 32s, it's going to turn everything red. It's going to turn slope red, dots red, everything else. If they can keep this, if they bring this to session low, to candle lows, then yeah, I definitely want to follow it. Good evening, everybody. Where's everybody coming to watch us from today? Where's everybody trading from? Let me know. Oh, I left my phone somewhere. Okay. Anyways, one thing I wanted to share with you is everybody who gets the Think Capital account gets Kathy's SMA and EMA heat map. I'm going to let me just actually put this up here for you guys. BK trend. I'll just put the SMA meter on here so you guys can actually see it. It's interesting to watch it on gold because gold is pretty much mostly bear. It was really, really bearish there for a second on the 5 minute, right? So the redder this turns, the more confident we can be that that we kind of, we're failing the this retrace trend move, and we have, and we can try to short this. Right now we can't. We got nothing going on. The price action is just not confirming it. What we want, this slope is red. We want a red dot over here through the lows. Then we can just burn this. But in order for that to happen, this thing's got to fall from 37 to around 32, and it's still kind of holding in a no flight pattern. Indonesia. What time is it in Indonesia? Is it like 8:30 in the morning? Are you guys 12 hours ahead? So here's a kind of like, red dot, mid range, not really at range lows. But we're starting to put the pressure on. By the way, as I said, anybody who gets a Think account, just email me a screenshot of you buying it with the discount code EDGE, and I'll be happy to give you the SMA meter. You can kind of watch it. It's turning itself around. Look at that. Look at that. I really feel like punting on this trade. I think I'm going to. I'm going to try to punt on this trade to the long side, just because we've held the lows. If it works, it works. Doesn't work, it's going to be a small risk for me. But it makes me think that maybe not. This is such a chop city trade here. But here's another thing that I want to do. That's perfect, actually. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna even out my try to even out my trade like right around here on all the positions. Oops. Right, my stop gets moved up, so I'm tightening up all my stops. And this is what I mean about the ability to blend out your trade. So you can't kind of see this because I have one at exit. So one is negative 24, the other one is positive 12. When they start blending out, they're all going to turn positive, because this one is going to. I'm actually going to just simply see if I can put both of these guys over here. The only problem I really don't, the only thing I don't like about CFD moves is, no, I got stopped out. Whoa, look at that blow. Okay, now we go the other way. I'm going to wait very, very carefully. I'm going to wait till the candle completes, because I don't want to be chasing this. But that is a clean break to the downside. Somebody just dumped a ton. Look at this move. Wow, that was a $12 move. It really, really increased the range. Okay, 4 or 5 seconds. Now I'm much more confident on the short side. I'm going to come back here to range test, and then I'm happy to trade against these session highs here. Wow, come down. And I'm going to, if this thing, comes back as it usually does on a retrace, I'll sell some more right over here. I'm happy to blend my way out into this position. Now let's see if my blended technique is going to work here. And we're going to hold it against this position. Oh my God. Wow. Big dump, big expansion of range, big retrace. You see, I'm already 30, 40 points in the money on that particular lot. And I'm just a little bit out of the money on this one. So I'm just basically going to sit here, see if I can make the like 50 points back. The other one is going to put me at break even, and that's going to put me at around plus 50 on the whole position. And it probably very, very likely going to go even lower, right? So let's see if it can just takes me out. There we go. It takes me out and goes lower. That's the classic technique that I want to do. Now, obviously, that's the best technique to do this is when you have these big range moves. We were just dicking around because I was just trying to create trades for you when the ranges were small. But when you have that kind of that signal is a big signal. You just have to know how to ride it, because the big mistake is you see the signal, you try to sell over here, it retraces 10 points against you. You're like either stopped out or you're just like, oh my God, I'm so behind the trade. I don't want to be in this trade. You got to know how to ride these trades. But the wave, splashback, and wave, generally a very, very clean trade. This was a clean 50-point trade, which could have been actually about a 100-point trade. And now we're hitting fresh session lows, right? Now we're hitting fresh session lows. Fresh range lows, not session lows. Session lows are going to be 5,000. And now it's worthwhile playing that also. So we got 33, 34 points, 34 seconds left. We're going to wait for this thing to close. If the red dot holds, if this isn't the bottom, we're going to trade this against this whole session range and put a secondary offer at around midpoint over here and try to resolve it. Oh, Bertold, you said you're from Serbia. Nice. Of course, in my dyslexia, I read from Siberia, but nice. Serbia, Siberia. Yeah, there we go. So I think this looks like a legitimate sell. Okay, we're not going to go for much here. In this case, I just only want to go maybe for 25 points to the low. But my secondary trade is going to be around like 530, somewhere around here. So I'm just going to wait. I'm actually going to just come in market if it retraces back. But in these type of momentum trades, you have to account for the retrace. Otherwise, it's very, very hard to sometimes you're going to get just pure momentum to the downside, and then you're good to go. There we go. And that's pure momentum trade, secondary trade. But you see, I just wanted to show you the technique. There's the entry, and then there's the trade management technique of how you want to ride these what would I call these? Surf scalps. That's what it is. That's the word I'm looking for. We're surfing the scalp. We are surfing the scalp because it's kind of like, if you think about this, is this massive wave. It breaks back. We're going back against the wave, and then we're coming back and crashing it down. We are surfing the scalp. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody understand what I'm doing? Give me a +1 if you guys understand what I'm doing. If things are going your way. And by the way, look at the trend meter. The trend meter started turning red beforehand. I didn't even look honestly like how the trend meter was when this candle was so red, because frankly that's all that really mattered. But I'm sure it started to really, really get heated to the downside. So give me some +1s if you understand what I'm talking about as far as surfing the scalp. Thank you, Clean. Who else? Come back. Come back. Talk to me here. Hit me up, guys. All right, session bottom over here. We'll see if it bounces back, but that's not a trade we like to make. We like to run through the range highs, through the range lows, and then trade and then adjust into that momentum. But you see how that was a super interesting. Whenever we have a big candle, right? Big candle generally suggests some sort of continuity. Now, sometimes it's a big continuity, sometimes it's a small continuity. So when it's big, you can just trade it by itself. When it's small, you trade the retrace into the original price. When it's just a complete reversal, like this was here, this was just a complete, like we just got stonewalled here. You just eat it. There's nothing you can do. This was a trade you had to eat. But it's a very clean, definitive trade. If it breaks the lows, you're eating this trade. This was a clean trade that reversed against us. So we took this, we got stopped out, and then we got in here really cleanly and took that to the downside and played it beautifully twice. Now we're just chilling. It's funny. I'm watching some other guys on YouTube trading Bitcoin, and I'm like, why? You know, gold is so much better as an instrument to trade. Tighter spreads, lots of scalping opportunities, lots of directional moves. Just makes it so much easier, right? We went from a 5-point range to a 25-point range. That's what we like to see. Gold really makes it fun. So now it gets interesting because now we're sort of, you know, we're a retrace, and do we have a retest of the range lows? And if we do get a retest, then we can trade it to the other side. But we have to see if it's an actual retest or we're going to start drooping even further to the downside. This looked like they just absorbed massive volume, bought it here, and now we have to see if the buyers or the sellers are in control. How's NASDAQ doing? Well, NASDAQ's still testing the bottom here. It's worth a shot, right? Should we just take this shot? The only problem is this is just massive. So I want to take like a 2040 on NAS. Hang on. No trade just yet. I want to see a positive dot. I want to see them hold the highs here. NASDAQ looks like it wants to bounce around the low. Is this a triple bottom here? We'll see. I'm watching this candle carefully. Oh, they did test the bottom here. See how quickly that bounced off the bottom? Let's see if it can hold. If we get a white dot off this candle, that's worth trading to the upside. If not, we'll wait patiently to see if it can hold the highs. $27 seconds left. Oh. Is this a tradable bottom? Let's see. 48, 49 seconds left. White dot. Gold is going lower, by the way. Gold is breaking lows here. Okay, let's watch gold. Gold is much more interesting right now because we don't really care. So gold breaking fresh lows to the downside against this thing. 9 seconds left. Let's short this, and we're going to trade this again. My stop's going to be against this range high. My target is over here. Let's see if we can and then we're going to try to average in, average out into the position. Let's see if I can make it. There we go. Another 15, 20 points continuity. Nice. Could have done more. I just held I held it a little tight. Who took that gold trade? Give me a +1 if you took the gold trade. That was a pure classic continuity. Now, what's interesting is that we're getting, if we get the range lows, we get close to the session lows. That's a really, really big deal, right? So you kind of think like where the block moves down, and then it hits the really big block, which is the session lows on the move. Tina, is it Tina or Tinushman? Everybody hit that goal to the downside. Nice. Gold is so much fun to trade. Literally, hard to be pulled away from it on the future side. Hopefully they'll let us trade it back again. It is crazy though. It is just so volatile. I mean, I could totally see myself blowing 5 funded accounts trading gold. Who's trading gold to Tradeify? Somebody was telling me somebody was saying to me they're trading gold to Tradeify. You still in the room? Talk to us. How's it going? Like, what's the challenge? Because you said it was really, really hard. Is it just because the volatility is so hard? All right, gold puts in a temporary bottom over here. Oh, how's our NAS on the bottom here? Still putzing around. Still doesn't not give me a single white or green dot. So we're not gonna do anything. It's not really a sell here, right? It needs to be really significantly, it needs to drill down through this 42 level big time or close on a red for us to kind of think, okay, they're going to try to push the lows. Right now, they're just testing the lows for the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th time. That's usually a sign of a bounce, not a sign of a continuity. But let's see. See, they're teasing it. If I get a reversal dot, if I get a white dot, we can trade against this bottom. But from here to there, still a lot of time. All right, let's go back to gold while this thing for the next 45 seconds to just see what gold is doing. So gold definitely did bounce back off these lows. Interesting. So gold made this, we bounced back off the session lows, but we get closer and closer to session lows. It's like the elevator coming down, right? Seems to be an inexorable force to the downside. So you can watch this trade to the downside again. All right, this is really starting to press NASDAQ making session lows on the future side too. Here, this is making session lows right now, challenging them. Again, but not giving me the dots, not holding the lows. Interesting. This seems very, very drippy. Like we're probing lows, but not making much headway to the downside, which makes me think that once the selling pressure stops, we could go the other way. Oh, that's funny. You swap now, NAS on Tradeify, gold on CFD. Is it because you can trade gold with smaller sizes on CFD? Is that why, Martin? Gold is actually bouncing. Not a trade, I love, so that's why I'm not even, proposing it. But like the fact that we get these 2 green dots, that's a sign that we're probably going to go, at least a small short covering rally here. We're going to leave it alone here. NAS finally popping. Are we popping? What do I have here? I have 31 seconds. Can we hold the dot and hit the spot? Let's see if we can hold the dot. If it holds the dot, we're going to go long on NAS here for like try to make 5 points out of it against this natural stop bottom. Yeah, golden futures is really, really scary. It really moves fast. I know. All right, let's go long NASDAQ here. 2040 buy. Okay, so we want to get like this is. I just want to look for five ticks against natural stop all the way out here, and there we go. Before I even had a chance to move my stop, you see how fast that was? That was a really, really easy handicap, right? And what's beautiful is that, the dots indicator really makes it easy to understand what's going on, right? Who took that NAS trade with me? Shit. Now, of course, you went for 5 and it goes for 50, which is, it always happens. That's for those of you guys who trade my stuff on a big reversal, you're just making mint money. I'm always the scalper, but clean cyber, good job. And PT took it. $200 USD, nice job. Yeah, this was a big pop, man. Holy shit, this was a 20-point pop in 1 minute. It's like it was really interesting. But this is the beauty of the indicator is the fact, as I keep telling you guys, there's nothing more important in trading than session highs, session lows. Nothing. And once you begin to understand how price action acts around those levels, that's where all your edge is. The edge is the edge is on the edge. Oh, I have a new saying today. You can tell I'm just really punchy drunk on Monday, and I have I'm already tired because I haven't had enough sleep. But the edge is on the edge. Thank you, Clean Cyber. Thank you. It is a really cool indicator, if I do say so myself. But that is very cool. Very nice. All right, we're having a good session. We killed the NASDAQ trades. Let's go back to gold, see what he wants to do now. Gold's coming back. All right, let's see if gold wants to hold this double bottom, or we're going to go 5,000 or bust, baby. Are we going to test the lows? Interesting. I kind of think it's going to hold. Actually, here's what I'm looking at. So here's the price structure within our indicator. Made lower lows, now making higher lows. If we start breaking the top of this range, I want to see a white dot or a green dot through the top of the range. I want to go long. I'm going to make the assumption that we're bottomed out and we're going to start to reverse it back up. Right? We're no longer making fresh lows. Just like we talked about the idea. Remember, we were making fresh highs. We made fresh lows once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. 5 times. What the fuck are we now? We're nowhere at lows. And if we start pulling back up over here, I want to be long on this thing. Very simple, very easy to understand, and really gives you a clue of how dynamics work out. You have calls on August AG gold. But what's the strike price on those calls? Are you like a 10,000 gold? All right, gold holding bid over here. Gold and silver. Silver was insane. I'm so glad I never traded silver. I wonder if it had that generational blow off top, and I don't think so. I keep thinking that silver is going to be like one of those secondary, like silver going to go back to 100 and maybe even 200 before it kind of dies out. I feel like this run in silver was just the taste of things to come. Have I used a Bloomberg terminal before? Yeah, my wife's a hedge fund manager. She got a Bloomberg, but I'm not looking at one right now, so you can't tell me. You just tell me the strike price. All right, boobies. Back to boring. Do nothing moves. All right, still watching because I want to see if they start recovering this move. Remember, it's the set. We're trading the range highs here. I love that. I'm amused myself today. The edge is on the edge. That literally explains everything I do. The edge is on the edge. Come on, give me a +1 for that one. That was pretty good. Oh, very nice. Well, trust me, in this room, we're just degenerate scalpers. We couldn't care less where the value of something is an hour from now, much less a year from now or 2 years from now. I'll leave all the long-term investing to my wife, who's a great stock picker. And like one of those people they can do 10 baggers in 3 years. I couldn't do a 1 bagger in 1 minute based upon my personality. So we just stick to good old-fashioned scalping. That's right. This is the degenerates room. This is where all the gamblers convene for high action. And actually, kind of a slow session for us, honestly. I mean, it's Monday night. I got to tell you, we got retail sales tomorrow. I guess, I don't know. I feel like the markets are a little bit on the sidelines today. Oh, here we go. Come on, baby. Come on. Pump up the volume. Let's go see if we can take the 22s. Buyers are trying to do something. I feel like nobody wants to do anything. It's just, I give it a shot that I give, that I fall back. Oh, here we go. Sellers testing the bottom again. Nope. Oh, look at that big reversal. What the fuck was that? That was interesting. What is going on over here? Holy shit, 45 seconds left. All right. Now we get it. Now it gets interesting. Hang tight. We're doing nothing until this candle closes because we have no idea what the hell they're doing. Looks like they swept the ladder down and then they swept the ladder up. Huge. It's like 2 whales hitting their heads. 2 big orders just came in and they're still battling it out. Wow, look at this. Look at that nice. This is a 12 to this is a 13-point range in a single candle form and still not definitive as to how they want to run it here. All right. So let's get long. All right. Sort of long just because it was such a big candle. And look at that. Oh my God. That was super fast. Do you see that? That was I had a 20-40 on this and that was 20 ticks that just, blew up in 1 second. Super fast. I thought I had a 200, so I forgot that I had the NASDAQ configurations here, but that was really nice. That was quick and clean. Now I'm just going to sit here and wait because I want to see if it wants to really bust out through the highs or whether all of this vol is just noise. But it from everything I was showing you, it does look like it's gearing up for a run higher, not a run lower. But we'll see. Right? Look at this. The seller's just coming right back and pounding the hell out of this thing. All right, we will stand down and watch it carefully. Yeah, it really is a price war. Shanghai Open, you're right. It's the 8 o'clock Shanghai Open, and they're dicking around. Looks like the Shanghai came in with lots of sellers, and then somebody came in with big buyers. Let's this shake out for a minute or two, because where it shakes out as far as the range goes is probably where it's going to get directionally. Where it's going to go directionally. But that is the Shanghai Open. You're right. It's the Shanghai surprise. Wow, nice big balls. There's a price war. It's a price war like there's a trade war, right? If it's China, there's a war going on, babies. All right, let's see if the buyers can hold this, because they got to hold it through the 27s. Right now, they're just getting pressed. I'm going to go back to the 200 variation to give myself some space for adjustment. Okay. Through the highs. Okay. Now we're going to take the cue from this direction. 14 seconds left. Got to hold the dot. No dot, no trade. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, holds the dot. We're in the trade. I'm going to bring it in, obviously, like maybe try to get 50 points out of it. We're going to hold underneath this massive spike low and adjust ourselves. If this thing comes back, which it very naturally could, to maybe the 21 level, we'll get some more. But the general direction here looks to be to the upside, so we'll give it some time here. So if it gets to 21, I'm a buyer. Otherwise, we're just going to wait tight and see if it can push to higher levels. If it gets to maybe actually pull it down to 30s, see if it can take out the 30s. Oh, and back into the 20s. I'm a buyer. Oh, okay. We bought it here. Came back. I'm going to bring it all down here. Let's see if we want to take it back out. Oh, I'm going to need my glasses now to watch this price action. Oh, wow. Sellers come back with a vengeance. This did not break out. This could be a busted trade. We'll see. Still a lot of volatility. Still a lot of two-way trade price action. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring myself a little bit cleaner to the trade here, because now it's just a little bit too much vol. Excuse me. We'll see if this is going to directionally take me out. Wow. So we're looking, I guess we need to see around 25. Let's see if this thing gets back up to 25. 24. $25. And you know what? I'm going to take the whole thing out. Come on. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Okay. Get out. Get out. Okay, so I kind of resolved this trade a little bit sloppily, but this big vol against us, made me a lot more cautious. We're probably going to go now to fresh to session highs. We could probably trade it again. But that's the other thing that I kind of wanted to show you. It's a series of trades. It's never one trade. So like right now, actually, I want to go back in. Where am I? Now I want to go back in because now I have, I've lightened up my position. I made money on that position. I can manage this position now with much easier capital and structure, like right over here, and try to make a bet on the idea that we have a little bit of continuity. And I guess my point was like, yes, you could have held it on for longer profits, because I basically took only 35 points profit. The other one was break even. But it didn't matter because at that point, what I was trading for is just kind of risk mitigation, right? This was a big, big risk move. I wanted to see if this thing was actually going to challenge the highs. And now it does. So it's a series of trades. It's not one trade. You don't have to be right on any one trade, just as long as I was right on the series. And you can see I'm continuously right on the series of trades. That's where the money is at. The money is on the series of trades. Somebody said this somewhere. I overheard it today, and I thought that was really, really smart. That when you're scalping, it's never a single trade; it's a series of trades, and that's what makes successful scalpers, because you are judging everything not within the grander scope of things, not within its individual basis, right? So in this case, it took 2 trade cycles to make the same amount of money, but that was the absolutely correct thing to do. In terms of mitigation, you guys understand what I'm saying? Everybody kind of vibing with what I'm saying here. Give me a +1 if you do. So I wasn't wrong. It just took really a lot of volatility to kind of resolve this. I wasn't wrong that this was a bottoming formation. We started breaking the highs, and breaking the highs gave us the confidence to trade the longs, which continue to be working, but I gotta go. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock sharp, we are trading retail sales. And then obviously Wednesday is NFPs, same thing. So lots of fun macro trading on the future side coming to the New York session. And of course, I'll be back with you guys trading the gold tomorrow night as well. So this is very, very fun to trade. The surfer scalping is a real joy in terms of banking money. I hope you guys all banked as we did today, and I will see everybody. I'll see everybody tomorrow first thing in the morning, and then we'll go from there. All right. Thank you again. I'll see everybody a little bit later. Take care, guys. Bye bye.